EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Las Vegas, Nevada. The atmosphere here, electric. No matter the venue, the home folks love their silver and black. They are fired up as their Raiders get set to face off with the Chicago Bears. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. First carry now for David Montgomery. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. 2nd down. Now a give running right is Montgomery. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were excellent a week ago in that victory over Indianapolis.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
First down, here's the run to Montgomery. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From just shy of midfield, Fields. Open man is Jacob Hollister. And all the way down to the 9.
Here we go.
A huge play there for Chicago.
Execution was one of their watchwords leading up to this one. And on that play, able to execute brilliantly here on this opening drive.
They'll run with Montgomery. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. They try again with Montgomery. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
Flushed out right. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. John Ross, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bears take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs, and I think they're going to at least take a look at this. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. So, Charles, you look at this offense, and really on paper at least, a great situation for them upcoming. They're unbeaten on the year, an open week coming up after this. So I guess my question, any worry that maybe this is coming at the wrong time?
Oh, definitely I would be worried about this game, maybe more than any other on the schedule, because I know my guys are looking ahead to that open week. I've got to keep them focused on the task ahead, make sure they take care of business in this one. Otherwise, you're talking about a double trap. The trap of losing the game and then having the open week and having to stew about it.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? Am I out of touch a little bit?
It's all right.
All right, grease board, heck, computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return, and the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know, they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
To Montgomery to begin the drive. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Off play action, Fields. That's the tight end, Hurst with it.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Fields now to throw. Robinson a first down and then some. And finally down at the 41-yard line. That catch, by the way, number 542 in his NFL career. That draws him level with Lance Allworth, who was a Hall of Famer with the Chargers back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, the man they call Bambi. So if you're in that type of territory, catch the same number of passes he caught, you know you're on your way to a big-time career. And just think, he's not through yet.
On first down, it's Montgomery. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Fields. Buying time to his left. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1.
A 9-yard gain on the play, and it's 3rd down.
Here's Fields. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
They'll run on 1st down. Montgomery. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's exactly what you're looking for at the inside linebacker spot. Versatility. He can drop into coverage, or as he did on that last play, use his speed to get to the perimeter and knock the ball carrier for a loss.
So the 1st down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Play action. It's Fields. On the move to his left. And he finds Montgomery complete. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30.
And that's why you do all the drills that you do from the quarterback position, because you're not going to just throw to your strength. The right-handed quarterback naturally will want to move to the right side to throw the football. But sometimes you got to go left, and that's exactly what happened on that play. Forced to his left, still able to accurately throw it downfield for a completion.
And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Bass is good. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it. And he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. And set to get this drive started. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you pressure and he's taken down. A Bear sack. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd. Another try after the first down sack. Rodgers got a man open. It's Darren Waller. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Now it's Rodgers. In trouble, and he's taken down. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Breaks through the contact. 43 yards on the punt, return of 4, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. A play fake, now Fields to throw. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Fields eluding the pressure right. Oh, wide open, complete, and all the way down to the 7-yard line. A big play there just before halftime.
We see this happen so often. If you're a defender, it's like watching a bad movie over and over. The pressure's good, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. But it's a lot to ask for these defenders to stay plastered to receivers long enough. And sure enough, they let a man come open, and the connection leads to a big play.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. The kick by Bass is good. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. A final shot before half for Rodgers. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. So we reach halftime with the visiting Bears out on top here. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this third quarter of action. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Rodgers now to throw. Man open, that's Henry Ruggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy. For a nice pickup.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete. Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that one or two guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. He'll look downfield for Waller. And this is caught inside the 5. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped it to 1. A big play there for the Raiders. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Jacobs. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
And they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1. Jacobs again. And he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Raiders have cut it back to within a score. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will shrink to 6. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. A give to Montgomery out of the gun. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
And he'll just get rid of it.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
And it got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
They'll live to fight another down, right?
Out of the gun, Fields rolling to his left. Gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory, down at the 31. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen, and he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here, 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to the ground, this time Montgomery. And some space here. Touchdown, Chicago! David Montgomery with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Bears are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. Now the Bears keeping the offense on the field and going for two. They'll look to throw. They'll roll him out right. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. And around the goal line, especially on two-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over.
And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Khalil Mack able to record his 5th sack of the season. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Now they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And that's caught. It's Bryan Edwards. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on third.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up. They've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Edwards. And he is going to have the Raiders first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
First and 10 at the 36.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
4 down, 4 down. Hey, 58 is the mic. Go 58 is the mic. Check.
Here's Rodgers to throw. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Well, I think that was good strategy there, trying to go right back to him after the last completion. But this time, the defense was all over him, and they got there to break that one up.
Second and 10. Here's Jacobs from the gun. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And this pass broken up. The contact well of time there. And now 4th down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Hey, check Mike 21, Mike 21, check Mike 21.
Now Rodgers, got to have this one. To the sideline, and he's got it. They say the feet are down. Yes, the line judge says they're in. That'll be a 1st down. Colton Miller, former 1st-round pick, called for the penalty there. Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Las Vegas. And this ball is going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers. Fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it. And let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Fields. Out to his left. He's got a man here. It's Montgomery. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. They'll go to Montgomery to try to wind some clock. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine.
Pick
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Back to Montgomery on 2nd down. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
And this is an absolutely big 3rd down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Pastor, you said big 3rd down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. On 3rd down, they go Montgomery. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here comes the Bears punter now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. .37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again. Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
He's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 30. And he takes this one into the end zone. And all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. For Henry Ruggs, he was the fastest runner at the 2020 Combine. Ran the 40 in 4.27. That is fast, folks. And that speed in evidence there.
Well, in this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard. We look at your fastest guy and say, go long, go get it, big man.
And And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. They run, Montgomery. And he's across for the late touchdown. And in the final seconds, that one should just about put a capper on this game. Here's Bass now for the extra point. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14.
Bears 28, Raiders 14. Tyler Bass set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock.
And that's caught inside the 30. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Khalil Mack in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking.
I'm ready for more. You fired up, I'm fired up. Don't run from rap. 1, 2.